This is a car deadlift frame. If we don't feel like setting the car up on this, then what we'll do is we have this barbell with these big ass wheels and we will load plates onto that barbell. And this is a great way to train the car deadlift in the event that we just don't have a car to back on it. But what do you do if you don't have the frame? Let's find out. Hey, it's Cameron with the Atlas Train Shop, and today we are going to show you how you can train for a car deadlift event even if you don't have access to a car deadlift frame. The equipment we're going to use is going to be found in almost every single gym in America, and if you can't find it, you can get it for relatively inexpensive, much less expensive than an actual car deadlift. That way, when you show up to your first strongman event with a car deadlift in it, you will have the tools and the knowledge to do well in the event. If that sounds good to you, what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and like this video and subscribe to it before we go any further. Done that? Cool. Let's go ahead and get started with the video. Got the doors closed to the gym right now so you don't hear Baton Rouge, and it is really hot in here. But I've gathered up everything that we are going to need to set this up. We are right next to a rack. I've got 2 power bars. I chose power bars instead of Ollie or deadlift bars because I want something stiff. If you have 2 axles, you can use this too. I have a pivot point. In this case, what we're going to use these pin pipe safeties that came with the rack, and then a couple of these pin points that are designed to allow you to do things like biking presses, or really any way to turn anything you need to turn the pin pipe safety into a pivot point. I have these handles. These aren't really necessary, but they allow you to position the weight behind you like a car deadlift instead of in front of you, but you don't need these, and I'll show you why. And I have 2 pairs of collars, just because it makes everything go a lot smoother. I'm also going to use these wagon wheels behind us. That way we're a little bit higher, because typically you're not going to do a car deadlift any lower than 13 inches. So yeah, let's go ahead and we'll start setting it up. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start getting all of my tools in the approximate position that I'm going to need them. Pull this out. Go ahead and drag these barbells over. Grab my pivot points. I'm gonna leave my collars over here, my handles over here. And now we're gonna set up the actual pivot point. You can also use landmine attachments for this as well. The first way we did this back when I was running a little Snap Fitness is I had these landmine attachments that would go inside of 45-pound plates. So we had 2 stacks of 45-pound plates set up, 2 landmine attachments, and we threw a sandbag on top of those. But this is going to be way more secure. I'm just going to pop these on here. I'm going to bring this over, and I want to be as low as possible. So I'm going to, actually I have to go into the second one, I think. Line this up. And now I have my pivot points. Pull these over. We'll drive those in to the pivot point. Then I'm going to grab some collars, and I'm going to place them on the ends so that they don't go anywhere. So already you can see where this is going. I have 2 barbells equal length that I can just pick up just like that. That's one way to do it. You can load weight on the outside of this barbell and do it. And I'll go ahead and I'll show you how that is set up. Seemed like a good idea to go ahead and switch angles for the rest of this. Grab some plates. Push them in here. Another collar. And we will grab another plate, and we'll put it on the other side. I'm actually going to go ahead and switch one of these barbells out because it looks like this one is a hair longer than the Ohio Power Bar. So I'm going to switch out with a different Ohio Power Bar and that way it'll just go a little bit smoother. All right, I switched to a Rogue Gen 1 barbell. I'm standing on the outside of the rack. I've got plenty of clearance to make this work. Right now, the weight is in front of me. If I grab onto the barbells, I can stand up and I have a pretty good angle, but the weight is still in front of me. I don't like this for a few reasons. One, it doesn't match what you're gonna be doing in competition. Two, there's barely any clearance for my toes. So, if I had a size 15 shoe, I wouldn't really have room to do it this way. Plus, I want the weight behind me. So instead, what I do is I grab these and I put them on the very edge. This is going to give me about another 10 inches to add some weight. I can be in front of it, and then I can still get my lift. Just like that. I'm gonna add a little bit more weight on here. That way y'all can really get a sense for how heavy you can get this thing and see how it's going to help you. So I went ahead and added another 200 pounds to this system. So right now we're at a total of about 380 pounds. We're at a little bit of a pivot point, so even though most of the weight is close to us, it does still give us a little bit of a mechanical advantage, but not as much as the car deadlift frame. We did the math on our car deadlift frame, and you're only lifting about a third of the weight that is on the pivot point. So you don't have to get as heavy with this as you might think. When we had a small car on there the other day, it really only felt like about the low to mid fours. So let's see how this feels. Grab the handles, drive into it, make sure you lean back a little bit. And while it's still pretty light, this is good to get rep work. And as you add more plates to this, you're going to get heavier and heavier, and you will be able to do well in a car deadlift event. This is how we trained this when I used to run Snap Fitness before we had a car deadlift. This is how we trained this back at Atlas Gen 1 and Gen 2 before we had a car deadlift, and we always did very well at those events. So to recap, I have two barbells on some sort of pivot point. It's coming down along two equally sized bars. I've got these on wagon wheels, which you can always set up on blocks. I have some weights, and then I have these handles to make sure the weight is behind me. This is going to be the best way to simulate a car deadlift without having to have a car deadlift frame. If you have a car deadlift frame, train it that way, do how we showed you with the barbell on there. But if you don't, this is good enough. This is going to make you do well at the event. So that's it for the video. If you like this video, then please like it and subscribe to the channel. And what I also want you to do is I want you to screenshot this video, share it to your Instagram story or your TikTok. If you tag us, I'm gonna send you a promo code that's good for 10% off any of the apparel on the website. If you're in the Baton Rouge area, we would love to meet you. Shoot me a message on Instagram, set up a time to come by and check us out, or drop in any Strongman Saturday. That's the best time to really get a feel for our environment. If you're not in the Baton Rouge area and you would like to support us, the best thing to do is to go to our website at atlasstrengthshop.com, check out our awesome apparel line, or check out our programming. We do remote programming as well. That is how we stay in business. So, until next time, keep that inner Titan.